Hey guys, Josh from soccerreviewsforyou.com, bringing you my review plus on-feet video of the Adidas Originals Tubular Runner. Now, as you guys can see, it does come in a standard blue and white Adidas Originals box. I'll give you guys a quick look at the label here. It's listed as the Tubular Runner, even though just like the Roshe Run, it's not really a running shoe. The pair that I have is a size 9.5 US. The colorway is black hemp and what I believe is simple brown, and the retail price is not listed, but this colorway, the standard colorways of the Tubular retail for $110 US. So it isn't overly expensive, but it's not particularly cheap either, considering what the shoe actually is. So here they are, guys. This is the new Adidas Tubular. Like I mentioned, it's kind of Adidas's answer to the Nike Roshe Run, and that it does have a similar like design in that it's a pretty simple upper, generally made from some kind of a mesh or a neoprene. And then of course you do have that very solid kind of bubbly looking midsole. And overall, I think it just looks really, really good. This is a shoe that has really taken off for Adidas in their Originals line that really has been all about the Superstar and the Stan Smith models, the models that are classics and have been around and will continue to be around for forever. But this is a new original design that I think is interesting. There's a little bit more going on in comparison to the Roshe Run, and it's just a model that has really taken off for Adidas in terms of popularity. We've been seeing tons of colorways since they kind of had that initial release that pretty much sold out. I wanted some of those initial colorways, but I just wasn't able to get them. I assumed, like a lot of Adidas shoes, that it would just sit on the shelf and I'd pick them up when they were on sale, but that was not the case. So I ended up kind of splurging on a pair, paying the full retail price. And this is the colorway that I ended up with that looks a little bit different in person, but I have to say that it does look pretty good overall. So essentially what the Tubular is, it's a casual wear running model, if you will. Again, not necessarily designed for running, just designed more or less to look cool and be comfortable at the same time. So the upper on most of the colorways that I've seen anyways are made from kind of like a neoprene type of material, and it essentially is a one-piece enclosure. There is no actual tongue here, despite how the shoe looks. What they did here is they gave you just a neoprene enclosure for your foot. It's like a neoprene sock sitting on top of an outsole, and then they stitched on these pieces here to kind of give it more of a standard running shoe type of look. So on this particular colorway, it's actually like a leather material, black leather, which looks really, really good. And then you have this kind of plastic piece here with some more lace holes for the laces to actually attach themselves to the upper. They don't really serve a purpose. You don't necessarily need to tie the laces for the shoe to feel secure, but of course you can tie the laces tighter and get an even more secure fit that wouldn't otherwise be possible if the laces weren't there in the first place. Now the neoprene is a nice stretchy material, but it has a good thickness to it as well, so durability is not something that's going to really be much of a concern if you are planning on picking these up as kind of your everyday shoes. This particular colorway doesn't have a smooth neoprene. It has kind of like a snakeskin kind of pebbled look to it, which I think looks pretty cool. It's one of those shoes that online, it almost looks like the upper would be leather or something like that, but it is in fact a neoprene material. You have some fused on kind of rubber in areas here in the forefoot with a little bit of design to it as well, which looks pretty cool and just feels good overall. It doesn't necessarily take away from the comfort, and the shoe overall just feels nice and light on your feet in terms of how it wraps your foot, but the shoe itself in terms of actual weight isn't as light as you'd expect them to be. They definitely feel a lot more solid and a little bit more bulky in comparison to something like the Nike Roshe Run. You do of course have the Adidas branding right here on the little pull tab here at the top of the tongue in blue, which looks pretty cool. And then the rear portion of the shoe features that soft brown color, which online looked like more of a gold. In person it's more of like a tan color, which I don't mind. It actually looks pretty cool. You do have some suede here running through the midfoot and heel area, and then you have like an artificial snakeskin in that same tan color, kind of making for a fake heel counter. It's similar to the heel counter that you would find on the ZX Flux series, but obviously instead of being plastic, it's just a snakeskin kind of cutout, which looks pretty cool. And then of course you do have your Adidas Originals logo right there on the back in black. Now the midsole of the shoe is pretty interesting in that it's kind of like a bubbly look. It's similar to the Yeezy Boost in terms of visuals. Doesn't have those same lines. I know a lot of people have been asking me to get a pair of Yeezy Boosts. Unfortunately, I don't have $2,000 lying around to kind of just blow on a single pair of shoes that, if I'm completely honest with myself, I think it's a cool looking shoe, but not necessarily something that I would really want to wear very much at all. But nonetheless, that's kind of off topic. This does have a midsole that does look similar to that shoe, and I actually quite like how it looks. You have kind of like a solid, kind of rounded midsole, and then you do have this little extra detailing here in the heel, which is actually two different types of foams from what I can tell. This darker kind of goldish color is a harder foam, and you can see it's kind of the main top layer, whereas this lighter foam here, which I thought was white just based on the online pictures, but in person it's more of a cream color, is a slightly softer, more spongy foam. But overall, the shoes feel a lot firmer on feet than I was honestly expecting. And as far as insoles go, it doesn't feature a removable insole at all, so it's not like a super soft kind of spongy insole like you find on the Roshe Run either. It's a little bit different as far as the construction is concerned. The bottom of the shoe, no rubber at all, so again, very similar to the Roshe in that regard. It has a pretty cool design. I like that it's kind of hollowed out through the middle. And of course, you do have the Adidas branding right there on the heel, kind of embossed in the actual material itself. They're not very flexible either. It's a pretty stiff shoe, and like I said, despite how they may look, it's very Roshe Run-esque, but the actual shoe itself just feels a little bit bulkier and just more solid overall. But nonetheless, I think it's a pretty cool looking shoe. Obviously, we've seen plenty of colorways since its initial release, and I think it's just one of those designs that gives you a lot to work with, gives Adidas a lot to work with as far as introducing different types of materials and certainly combining all kinds of different colors. And I especially like that they didn't really incorporate the three stripes design in a significant way here. You have some three stripes here, I suppose. I mean, this could be viewed as three stripes as well. And of course, you do have the Adidas branding written out there on the tongue. But all in all, it's a pretty cool looking shoe. And I'm just happy with how they fit and feel and just look in general in hand. The quality is nice. I wish they were a little bit cheaper, if I'm completely honest with you guys. But even at $110, with all the colors that they're releasing now, they can't all possibly sell out. So we will see some pretty good sales on the Adidas Tubular in the coming months, which probably will result in me picking up some more pairs for myself. But that's pretty much it as far as just a complete overview and kind of the close-up details on the Tubular. And next we'll move on to an on feet so we can get a better idea as to how these shoes look and of course how they fit. Alright, so here is a look at the Adidas Tubulars on feet with a pair of shorts. On my left foot I have the stock laces that come with the shoes, and on my right foot I put in a pair of black reflective SR4U replacement laces. These are actually my own laces. They're designed specifically for soccer shoes, but I found that when I actually put these on, the stock laces that come with them are a lot chunkier than I think they need to be. Not to say they look bad, but I personally prefer laces that are a little bit thinner than that, and that's what you get here with these black reflective replacement laces. If you're perhaps interested in a pair of these for yourself, they're available in a wide variety of colors. Check out the website sr4ulaces.com. It'll be linked in the description of this video. So in terms of how these things fit and feel on feet, they're relatively comfortable. The upper is kind of a neoprene material, so very flexible, very kind of sock-like in terms of the level of comfort that it provides on your foot. And because of the neoprene material making up for the entire upper, there's no real liner, so you can wear these with or without socks very, very comfortably depending on what your preferences are. As far as the underfoot cushioning is concerned, the midsole is a lot stiffer than I think you would expect it to be. They aren't particularly well cushioned, but they're still comfortable enough to wear as casual shoes. But again, as running shoes, even though they're technically the Tubular runners, this is by no means a performance-oriented model at all. So just keep that in mind if you are planning on picking these up as some kind of a performance model for whatever reason. I like how they look. I think they're obviously very wearable as a summer shoe, considering that it is kind of a Roshe Run style, but I would say that the Roshe Run feels a little bit less bulky on your feet and has a little bit more underfoot cushioning to it as well. I would say that it's probably more comfortable in the long run. And as far as fit is concerned, these are very, very high volume. They have a good amount of width to them, so they're going to fit just about everybody. And as far as sizing is concerned, I ordered these online. I didn't get the opportunity to try them on in person prior to purchasing them, so I just went with my usual size 9.5, which in a Roshe Run is very, very snug, but in these is pretty roomy. So I think they'll work out. There's definitely no issues with going true to size if you do want a roomier feel. But if I were ever to pick up another pair of these, I probably would end up going for a half size smaller, going a half size down for a 9 US in order to just achieve a slightly more snug fit. But again, if you go true to size, they definitely will fit you if you don't have the opportunity to try them on prior to purchasing. So that's pretty much it as far as how they look on feet with a pair of shorts, and I'll leave you next to how they look on feet with a pair of pants. Alright, so here is a quick look at the Tubulars on feet with a pair of pants, and I think that given the simple design of the shoe, especially if you pick one of the more neutral colorways like I've picked right here, you can wear these things with pretty much anything. Shorts, pants, sweatpants, jeans, whatever it may be. It's just a pretty good looking simple shoe. Again, similar to the Roshe Run. I'm sorry for comparing it so much to that shoe in this video, but that's really what these remind me of. And I think that's why a lot of people are actually buying them, why it has caught on for Adidas. And I just think it's a shoe that has a lot of potential for future colorways and just future variations in general, which we are actually already seen. There's a moccasin version or like a suede version of this shoe that I've seen already, as well as other different kind of retro blends with that ZX Flux bottom from Adidas already. So again, I think that this shoe just has a lot of potential for future variations from Adidas, and it's just a good looking shoe overall. So that's pretty much it as far as the on-feet portion of the video is concerned, and I'll leave you to my final thoughts. Alright guys, that's it for my review of the Adidas Originals Tubular Runner. Definitely a great new model from Adidas that obviously has been doing very well for them and will continue to do very well for them. I'm glad to see that there are tons and tons of colorways coming out now, and really I'm just waiting for more and more colors to actually go on sale, because at $110 I think that these are worth the price if you find a colorway that you really like the look of, but at $80 I think that this is a much more attractive option, and I think we're going to start to see those prices sooner rather than later with the amount of colors that Adidas is kind of flooding the market with, if you will. So if you guys are interested in a pair of these for yourself, I will have all of the currently available colorways listed in the form of buy it now links on the review page of my website, which will be the very first link down below in the description. So again, if you are interested in a pair for yourself, first link down below, go ahead and check it out. If you have any questions regarding this shoe or suggestions for other sneakers you'd like to see featured on the channel, leave them down below in the comment section. I take a look at everything you guys leave there. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful and informative, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for more sneaker reviews, of course. All my social media information is down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. And as always, thanks for watching.